Welcome everybody to update number 46. So this is the first update of the new year, and yeah, not got a massive haul, but we do have a few rather special efforts from boutique labels. So we'll start off with a normal Blu-ray and then we'll work our way up. So yeah, the first and only normal Blu-ray that we have is the Banshees of Inisherin, and now this is a fantastic film, easily one of my favourite films of 2022, and yeah, I think I put it in 4th place, and yeah, definitely my favourite non-big blockbuster kind of film. It's a really rather low-key kind of effort, but still a fantastic one regardless. Not the most special of releases or anything like that, but it's really nice to finally have it on Blu-ray after loving it so much in the previous year. Then we have The Queen of Spades from 1949. This has been given a new 4K restoration by Studio Canal in their Vintage Classics range, and yeah, really rather good horror fantasy. Even though the horror element doesn't really come into it until the final act, it is still a worthwhile part of the film, and yeah, really good payoff regardless. And yeah, nice printed disc, and you also get a decent sized booklet to go with it as well. So yeah, got your cast and your crew. It's based on the short story The Queen of Spades by Alexander Pushkin. And yeah, got The Queen of Spades, which is a full write-up by Philip Horn. So yeah, all really rather nicely done. You've got shots from the film. It's a beautifully shot film as well, by the way. Lovely black and white cinematography. And yeah, it's a really good film. Really good payoff, like I said, especially with the horror element. And now we have a couple from Imprint. Now I ordered one of these purely because I got given something from Imprint that I really wasn't expecting, and I forgot to show it off when I originally got it. And yeah, I had a big order. I think it was when I got the likes of the Film Noir Collection number 3 and the like. And yeah, they sent me a mug basically with the Gambler on it, the poster. So yeah, which was really nice of them. So I thought, since I've not actually got the Gambler, I may as well also get it from them. So yeah, it's a good film. It's not one I'd instantly go out and get, but since I've got the mug now, I may as well have gotten the film as well. Solid film, really good film. Yeah, really good performance by James Caan, and yeah, it's a really solid effort. Not my favourite James Caan effort by any means. I think the likes of Thief would be probably my favourite from him. But yeah, still a really good release from Imprint as per usual with their releases. So yeah. Now since I was getting that, I figured let's get another film on top of that. So I was going to get 5 from 1951, which sounds like a really good effort, but unfortunately it didn't come in my order. Instead, I got the 2003 effort, Timeline, directed by Richard Donner. It's got a really good cast. You got the likes of Paul Walker, Francis O'Connor, Gerard Butler, Billy Connolly, and it's got a score by who was it? Brian Tyler. Although it originally was supposed to be Jerry Goldsmith that was doing the score, but because of recuts from the studio, they had to recompose the whole score, which is a shame because it was Jerry Goldsmith's. Well, it was supposed to be his last score because he died the year after this, unfortunately. So yeah, yeah. As far as films go, it's far from my favourite. It certainly wouldn't be one that I'd go out of my way to buy, even less so than The Gambler. But it's a decent effort, and yeah, they had to travel into the past to save the future. So basically, they travelled back to 14th century France, and yeah, it's got some great action. The final battle scene is excellent. It's got some really good high production value and all of that lot, but yeah, it's by no means a very deep or affecting film in a lot of ways. Characterization, for instance, is quite weak, and yeah, the first half of the film is quite by the numbers, but still, it's a decent effort. And finally, and I know it's not a lot, but this is a big one. Yeah, Short Scope Volume 2. Now, I got the first volume for Christmas, so inevitably I had to get the second one. Unfortunately, there was a bit of an effort of getting this because when it originally arrived, it was broken, basically. They had a hole in the middle of it around here, and there were a lot of scratch marks on the rear as well. So it had to be sent back, so that's why it's taken forever to get it over to me in a good condition. But it should hopefully be well worth the effort. I've not yet watched any of the films from the first volume, so naturally I've not seen any from this, although I did watch one before I got the first volume, ages before I got it. I think it was a Mighty Peking Man, but that's the only one out of the 2 box sets that I've seen at all. But yeah, still, hopefully both will be well worth the watch and the money, because they were hardly cheap. And yeah, as per usual, you get a nice booklet with these. So yeah, basically just talks about all of the films in a decent amount of detail. You get shots from the films as well, like that. And yeah, so yeah, basically just talks, it has a cast in it, who the character they are playing, and then a short write-up to go alongside it. So yeah, and then you got the likes of the Legacy of the Shaw Brothers Studio by David Desser, which is a big write-up. And yeah, then you got film notes, trivia, name that tune, all sorts, basically official synopsis of each film. So yeah, really nice booklet. But obviously the main aspect of this is not just the films, but also how they are presented in this. So yeah, let's go through them. So yeah, the first one we've got is the 36th Chamber of Shaolin from, not really sure actually. I'm not sure about the years or anything about this, but then we've got Return to the 36th Chamber, and then the 36th Chamber, no, the Disciples of the 36th Chamber. Really do like the artwork that they put in with these. Then we got Mad Monkey Kung Fu and 5 Super Fighters on disc 3. I think there's 2 more films in this one than there were in the first box set. Then we got Invincible Shaolin and the Kid with the Golden Arm on disc 4. Then on disc 5 we've got Magnificent Ruffians and 10 Tigers of Guangdong. Again, really nice artwork. Sorry if I've not shown them off completely. Then in disc 6 we've got My Young Auntie. Then on disc 7 got Mercenaries from Hong Kong and the Boxer's Omen. And disc 8, Martial Arts of Shaolin and the Barefooted Kid. I think there's actually stuff from a film or 2 from the 90s in this. And then we got music from the 36th Chamber of Shaolin, 5 Super Fighters, Invincible Shaolin and the Kid with the Golden Arm. It's really nice that they put the soundtracks in these. It's probably not something I'm going to instantly dive into, but still it is nice. And then on disc 10, or is it disc 10? Yeah. We have Return to the 36th Chamber, Magnificent Ruffians, 10 Tigers of Guangdong, My Young Auntie, Mercenaries from Hong Kong, and Disciples of the 36th Chamber. Now I doubt this is all of the scores from all of those films, because at the end of the day you've only got 36 tracks, and I guarantee all of those films come to several hours of film running time, so I doubt that's all of the music from them, but it is at least nice to have them on there, and I'm sure it's more of the focused on the highlights of each film rather than the entire score itself, which generally entire scores don't have highlights throughout the lot. So yeah, really nicely done box set. I can see why people instantaneously jumped on these box sets when they were originally released. I didn't, purely because I didn't want to have to spend so much on them, because you're spending basically about 250 quid for the 2 box sets, which is quite a lot for me. So even though I had to pay expenses to return the broken version and eventually get the other one back, I still got at least like £10-12 off what the original price would have been. So I at least got that cheaper, and obviously I got the other one for more than half price off. So in all, I have saved a fair chunk of money by just, you know, hanging on and waiting. So yeah, and I feel like waiting until this year to watch them all was the ideal thing, because last year was really busy with other films that I want to watch, and yeah, new films as well. So yeah, but still not a massive amount obviously outside of the box set, but still, as far as first updates go, it's been a decent one. And yeah, there's going to be plenty more coming out this year that we will be picking up, new or old releases. And yeah, I hope to see you in the next one. So thank you for watching. Bye.